is up, my peeps? How we doing out there today? I just got myself, so we need to go shopping really bad. So we don't have a whole lot of food in the house, so I decided to go out and cut a bunch of lettuce, and I cut up some radishes and snap peas and all that kind of good stuff. So made myself an awesome chef salad, but I used Italian dressing on there. I've got two different kinds of lettuce. I've got romaine and black seeded Simpson, and then I've also got some kale, dwarf. Gosh, I think it's like a Dutch variety of kale. So, but anyways, a few boiled eggs in there as well for some protein. But hope you guys enjoy. I decided to do the Italian dressing because the only cheese I had left was mozzarella and Parmesan. So I got a little bit of that on there. And this lettuce is just slightly bitter because it was bolting. So that means it was starting to flower. It got too hot. So it usually gets a little bit more bitter. But it's still very good. You can't really beat fresh greens. Just want to extend another thank you to all you guys supporting me out there. Thank you for participating in the little poll survey thing that I put out there. Pretty clearly can tell that most people want their horizontal videos, so that's what we're doing. She really likes eggs, but the rest of this stuff I don't think she's really into. But anytime I make our favorite runny eggs with toast, she's always trying to get some of that yolk. That runny yolk. She loves that. I just gotta buy it with a nice pea pot in it. I feel like I'm realizing I should have cut the lettuce up a little bit more. But that's alright. Let's get some of these radishes. So everything that, well, the exception of the radishes, because I added those. We had bought those from the store. But I am about to get some in the ground because they only take about 30 days. So we're going to do some of those now that I pulled some of the lettuce out. But everything else in this salad, besides the eggs and cheese and dressing and stuff, is all from the garden. It's very good. And just like look how dark that is. That's the romaine. My girlfriend was just commenting on that the other day about how much darker the greens that are coming out of our garden are. And it's because they're packed with so much more nutrients. So I just lost my train of thought just now. The cat distracted me. She's being so cute. Oh, I was gonna say, I wash my greens. I usually wash my greens pretty well. But sometimes I sometimes feel like, oh, excuse me. I sometimes feel like I might be eating bugs from the garden. But it's not a big deal, I guess. A little extra protein never hurt ya. I'm honestly starting to get a little full. That was a big salad. I don't know if you saw how big ridiculous, but I've probably eaten like 3/4 of the salad, but it's a bowl as big as my head. So the only problem is that, excuse me. The only problem is that with greens like this, since I'm full, I'm probably gonna be hungry again in like an hour. But that's alright. I have some errands to run, and then I'll probably head back here to do a drawing. Wow. To get it all framed up and stuff. I have to get a new Mac because I messed up one of them. There was a really interesting thing that I heard about recently, and it's like the quality of food and how, like, if you're eating a high quality, like high caloric, like the caloric, how do you word that? Like the quality of the calorie is a lot higher. So like, you know, it's like your meats and your like nutritious vegetables and things like that. They're gonna give you a lot of nutrients. Those types of things are very hard to like eat large amounts of, because once your body has the nutrients that it needs, it's gonna tell you, okay, well, I don't really need any more. So it's gonna start to like give you that signal, like, oh, you know, it might be a chore to like finish your plate kind of thing. Whereas like a thing like a corn chip, you know, where it's just like these empty calories that aren't really gonna do a whole lot for you. There's not a lot of nutrition there. That's why they say like the 50th bite is oftentimes just as good as the first bite, because it's I mean, it's an empty calorie. It doesn't really help your body other than for a very, very short period of time. And that's a lot of Americans processed food, and that's kind of part of the push of why I want to try and grow more of my own food, is just the goal of trying to be as close to the earth as possible, and just to have like the food be as whole and as complex and as, you know, not processed, you know, like even bread and stuff, making your own flour from wheat, like it's not a rocket science. Like, you know, we've been doing it for thousands of years, where we grow the wheat and we smush the little I can't remember what they're called now, but the little like grain part of the wheat, basically. You crush it up, and then after it's crushed, it has that little white powder in the middle, and then you blow the shell away, unless you're doing whole wheat, which you keep the shell. So but yeah, it's interesting how I was just talking with my girlfriend about how crazy it is that like people, they know absolutely nothing about where the food that they eat comes from. They just go to the grocery store, they buy it, and that's it to them. You know, they don't need to think about it too much. But to me, it's mind-blowing, like how dangerous even some of this food that Americans are legally allowed to be served by these corporations. Like, I used to work for a food production facility, and they basically, so it was Kellogg's, kind of, it was like a third-party Kellogg's place where they had a contract with Kellogg's and they cooked a bunch of different things for them. But I specifically worked on the Eggo waffle lines, and basically, like it was a big eye opener when we would have to go from American waffles to the Canadian waffles. So we would have to do a full clean, like we'd have to clean all the equipment very well. And then the Canadian recipe of waffles didn't have like half the ingredients because they legally weren't allowed to have those things in their food. So it just was like crazy and like mind blowing to me how America and like, you know, the food structure of America is just so poor, and just nobody really realizes the extent of it. And if it's even just for me, you know, and my family, like I want to make sure that I'm trying to provide the best possible fuel for our bodies, as opposed to this garbage that is just served up to us every day for cheap. And that's just it. Like in America, like it's not that expensive to maintain your own vegetable garden. It's not that expensive to, you know, raise your own pig, or you know, have your own chickens and stuff like that, because you can be pulling things from different parts of the farm to do for feed, and like you don't need to go out and buy feed, you know. Like that's what I think people get stuck on. Like they get so stuck on the like infrastructure and like, okay, we need to do this, like we've been told this is how we do things, when in reality, like 100 years ago, 200 years ago, people, like, they had their own homes and homesteads. Like they would provide for themselves, you know. The land that they owned would be what helped them survive and thrive. So I don't know, I feel like, especially in America, like it's a big eye opener. Like if you look at places like Europe, where, you know, there's so many more like small scale farms where restaurants and supermarkets and all these things are buying so much closer to the source, whereas in America you might get a cucumber or well, I mean, an avocado comes from Mexico most times. You know, they're shipping it all the way from Mexico. California grows like probably 70% of America's produce, you know, just because of the weather that they have, and how mild it is, and how, you know, well, I guess now they're having water issues, but yeah, so much of our food comes from those warmer places, because they can grow all year round with these commercial farms, and they don't really go by like the natural order, like the way that plants would actually be producing. So I don't know, all the GMOs and everything, like I like, okay, so there is a give and a take with a genetically modified, because like, yes, through selective breeding, like you can get better traits for plants and stuff, and that's actually an amazing science. But because of how like deep they have gone, and like things that they've gone, like they've literally gone in and done gene splicing, and things like that. So like that's where it gets a little hairy, because it's not a natural process. Whereas like selective breeding, that's a little more natural. Where yes, you might be kind of playing God in a way, where you're pollinating certain plants with other certain plants so that you can ensure that certain traits are passed to the seeds. But it's all interesting. It's so interesting. I love plants. I love learning about how all of it works, and just the more that I get into it, the deeper that I get, the more excited I get for actually being able to kind of do this in a larger scale. Because right now we just have a couple few raised beds in the backyard. We're still living in the city, so not much you can really do. But yeah, it was. Hope you guys enjoyed the salad, the little bit of a ramble that I had going on. I'll see about finishing this salad a little later. There's not much left, so I'd feel bad about wasting it. But at the end of the day, I could always just rinse the dressing off and throw it in the compost pile. So it's never the worst thing in the world. So, but I don't know. I was honestly thinking about starting a garden channel too, because I see these people all the time, and I watch people on YouTube that I've learned so much about gardening and all those things, and I've kind of considered starting a little garden channel, but don't really know quite how I would want to do that, especially because the garden is so small. Like, it's not like, excuse me, it's not like I'd have very many videos that I could be posting consistently, so it's something that I've given a little bit of thought, but we'll see. I've been having so much fun with this YouTube thing, like, especially lately. Like, I've been getting a lot more subscribers and viewers. Thank you all. Welcome to all you new people. But yeah, just the general support, and it's made me so excited because I've only been doing this. Oh shit, it's probably about 4 months now. I started end of February, beginning of March. And all those videos from back then, they're just kind of you know, they didn't get a whole lot of views there. I think a lot of those only got like between like 50 and 100 views, but now most of my videos are getting over 500, so that's pretty cool. And just, we're still climbing from there. I don't know. I didn't really have any expectations for this. I knew that this was something that I'd been thinking about doing for a while, so I kind of just decided one day I was going to pull the trigger, and here we are. So glad that you guys have been enjoying, from the sounds of it, glad that you guys have been enjoying these videos, and that you have been joining me on a regular basis. It's pretty freaking awesome. So, and those of you, because I do see the numbers, and I know there's some of you out there that are watching quite regularly that aren't subscribed. No pressure on that, but I know that when you are subscribed, it'll show you my videos more frequently, and so you'll know when I post a new one and stuff like that. So, and it just helps me. I mean, not that the goal was to monetize, but I mean, once I get 500 subscribers, there's certain things that you can start to do to monetize, which we'll see about. Because starting it would just be like memberships and like supers and stuff like that, which I'm not really too in tune with. But the memberships I probably won't do. It just seems like, I don't know. I just don't think, like, yeah, maybe for members, like, they could see the videos a week early, maybe, I don't know, but outside of that, like, I feel like I don't want to limit people and like not have people be able to see my videos just because, you know, of a membership. So I think that's kind of silly. I mean, at the end of the day, the goal is for us state of the American economy. It's bad. I mean, it's worse than it's probably ever been that I can remember in my life. Granted, like, I was a child when the housing market crashed back in 2008, so I don't really know how much of a economic impact that had. But you know, that only got us like 5 years later, like 2013, like that, like, I want to say like that, like 20, it was almost even like 2010 was like the start of the come up. But yeah, that was just an amazing time in America. I don't know, I felt like, because I mean, that was when I was in school too, and like, I saved I saved maybe like 5 or 6 grand from a summer job to take to college with me, and that lasted me like the whole year. Granted, you know, I had a meal plan and all those kinds of things, but that covered like all my side expenses, all my fun, all of the things that I wanted to do that were outside of school and the requirements. But yeah, now it's crazy. It's like $5,000 doesn't get you anywhere, especially if you own a home out here. Like, most people, they pay, well, shoot, like most people even pay like between like $1,000 and $1,500 for rent. And you know, when you also got grocery bills, which most people, probably a family probably spends, well, shoot, my girlfriend and I, it's just us two, and we shop at Aldi, and we get regular meat from my dad and buddies that they hunt deer. So I'm getting meat from them all the time, fish and stuff, that we go out and we go catch fish. Like, we save so much money on meat, but yeah, we still are probably, for the two of us, we probably average like $400 a month on groceries. Maybe a little less than that, because we usually go shopping like once every 2 weeks, because neither of us really like shopping, so we typically will buy in excess, and that's what's been so nice about the vegetable garden, because we don't have to let vegetables and stuff go to waste, because we can just go cut them fresh. So that's been really nice. But anywho, so I've been rambling on for quite a bit, so I might wrap this one up. But I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out, and just take it nice and easy. We're filming this on a Monday, so I'm not sure when you guys will see it, but just take it easy. Make sure that you take some time to have some quiet moments and relax to yourself, and just be able to reflect on how you're doing, and be able to reflect on just what you've been able to accomplish, because I feel like a lot of times we kind of forget what